Can I speak to the issue, the topic at hand, please? Reina, anybody?
Man, go on. You seem to be the only one talking, so just go on. Just take the floor.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. So it says that you'll be arrested over your children's action, Governor Umahi. Okay. I want us to take some few steps back, because events don't just happen ab initio. There are things that lead to certain things, that lead to other things, that lead to other things. So, Ebonyi State, as we know it, has had a series of attacks by killer headsmen or bandits or whatever you choose to call it. And there have been complaints here and there. People have protested that they don't want to give land for Ruga. The governor, that is Umahi himself, seems to be open to the idea of a Ruga settlement for headsmen. And the people are saying, if you want, this is a private business. If you want land, you buy land and settle and do your business. But the idea of you demanding that we should just carve out a piece of land and say, okay, take for free, it doesn't work. Because many people are saying, we go to these places, we go to other parts of Nigeria, we are in the north, northwest, however you want it. We buy land, we do our business peacefully. There's no strife or rancor. But you coming to say we demand land, if you don't give land, and in fact, Governor Bala Mohammed, the governor of Borno State, is on record to have said, to avert these killings, give the headsmen land. So there is a connection. If you connect the dots, it means, why should I give you land? And you are saying, to avert the killings, you must give land. So you are telling me that you continue to kill me if I don't give you my land? Is that it? So now, the ESN set up by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been resisting that initiative. In fact, there's been various clashes in Ebonyi State as well as in Imo State, because the governor of Imo State seems to be pro Ruga settlement as well. So the tension has gotten so high that the governor is like, okay, what do I do? I'll go after these kids, their parents. But in what world do you arrest somebody else for somebody else's crime? It makes no sense. So I don't know how our governors operate, but it seems they seem to be catalysts for chaos. Because if you look at what is happening in the Southeast, the governors they play a major role in what in the tension that is rising in that place. Because if you compare what is going on in the Southeast with what is going on in the Southwest, there is a marked difference. You can see how harmonized the Southwest governors headed by Akeredolu, Governor Akeredolu. You see how they came together. They formed Amotekun, the Western Security Network. They came together when Igboho was having this challenge of some government officials coming to invade his home at night, in the dead of night, killing 2 people. You can imagine that. You kill 2 people. Now the guy runs for it. The same thing. If we take a step back further again, you remember that this is the same thing the federal government did in 2017 to Nnamdi Kanu when they invaded his home as well and killed 28 people. The same modus operandi is what they are using. We must quash the secessionists by all means. We must do this. But you using force against this ideology will not work. As we have seen today, people who were just carrying flags now have started to carry arms. So why don't we just dialogue? Why don't we talk? What is so unspeakable about coming to the table and talking these things out? I keep asking that question. Because some people have the theory that some of these governors have been promised vice presidential tickets. That is why, by all means necessary, they are trying to bring about a Ruga settlement. because it seems that is what the political establishment has given them as some sort of mandate or task, that if you don't do this, there will be no vice presidency for you. So the governor, that is Governor Umahi, and Governor, I don't even like to call him a governor, the Supreme Court Administrator of Imo State, who was appointed by the Supreme Court, yes, is working towards that goal. So the tension, these things are more nuanced than what we try to paint them to be. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Sorry, before Sheon speaks, Zayad is no longer here. So Sheon will speak, then Bauchi and Adi. Sheon. Yeah, I don't think Sheon is here, so we'll move on to Adi.
Yeah, thank you. I just have one question. Is cow rearing Nigerian government business, enterprise, or what? Or is it private? I just want to know if somebody has that answer. Or why is federal government solely interested in cow and not other businesses? Thank you.
Okay, can I respond to that?
Yes, Bauchi is no longer in the room, so it's
So what I want to say in response to your question is this: the federal government does not want to give cow rearers free amenities. What they want to do is to create a settlement where they can have farms, animal farms, and if it's provided by the state government, they rent it. Nobody is talking about offering them free places, just like you have in Alaba market, where there's a settlement, a place for people to trade on spare parts. They go there, they rent shops. But that place is exclusive for them. It's an area that has been given them where they can do their trade. And it's the same thing in every part of the country. What I'm saying is this: the only problem with Ruga was that the government failed. The PRO job failed. They were unable to market it. Ruga is a very brilliant idea. What could Ruga have done for Nigeria? It would have improved the quality of our beef. It would have created meat processing opportunities and created jobs. And these Fulanis who go around, these herders who go around, it will give them a sense of stability also, so they can be part of the community where they rear cattle. So for me, it's not that the federal government is solely interested. It is that just like some part of Nigeria, you have, like in Alaba market in Lagos, you have where they sell spare parts. And they have it protected.
Okay. That's okay. So then my next question is, hold on. My next question is this. In terms of land mass, the entire Southeast in land mass is probably less than Katsina, Kaduna, and Kano combined. So why not establish this in Kaduna, in Kano, in Katsina? Let's see it functioning first, before you shove it down the throat of the people in the Southeast where they don't even have enough landmass. I'm just asking the question just to...
Now, I respond again. Now, the making a cattle settlement is not, it's really not about landmass or no landmass. It's really about markets and market possibilities. You cannot have all the cattle settlements in the north because there is a market for cattle in the south.
Do you have any at all in the north functioning now? Is the question.
They don't have it. The question is the government trying to encourage only southern governors to have it, or it is open to all states in the north? And for one, Kano State, for example, have built ranches. They are aiming to lease out
Is
to
it
cattle
functioning?
rearers.
Is it functioning?
Nobody said it's functional. It's an idea.
So,
It's a vision.
wait. You see, I don't like
Oga,
too much
there are
grammar.
functional ranches in Kaduna that is even with a joint partnership, the state government and one foreign company like that. I'll get the name and I'll send it to you. There are ranches in Kano. As a matter of fact, Kano was the first state to be able to put an end to cattle rustling and banditry. And all these farmers had these clashes. But again,
Okay,
the fact I know you're trying to push a narrative here. Impose your what do you call it, right?
Every time somebody asks a question, you only say it's a narrative.
Just chill.
What is the problem in asking a question to understand something? Why should that become a narrative?
Impose your
You can ask your question. It's okay. Ask your question.
Ban it.
1 second, please.
But go and tell your people to buy land so that they can start processing cattle, whatever. It's the same way Ekiti State have their own cattle, they have their own ranches, and have built value chains around it. Go and learn from Ekiti State. The person that came up. Yes, Samir.
It's okay, go on, just land. Quickly land. It's okay. Okay, sorry, Ahmed, just a second. Ade, I hope you know that the ranching program, as initiated by the federal government, is meant to be voluntary. Any state that wants to participate should willingly accept. However, my question to you now is, why must it be limited to the north? Why must cattle rearing be limited to the north, since consumption is not limited to the north? One. And as mentioned by Mr. Isimeme earlier, we have Apple Mechanics Market in Abuja. As we do have another market, he said Alaba Market, right? In Lagos, they are all specialized markets created for one specific purpose. Why did we not limit it then to also a part of the country? Why are these markets scattered all over the country? Why must cattle ranching be limited to the northern part of the country? Now, I think this is my question to you, please, if you can answer me.
Thank you, Samir. You see, first of all, when somebody is asking the question, unless you have a narrative to push, stop saying narrative bandits. That is why
I understand now. I
in Nigeria.
I've already told Ahmad.
Cement said the PR of the government was wrong. Any time there is a doubt over anything, people will resist based on the experiences of their life. So if government know this is for state government to say yes or no to, then their PR job on that Ruga was not effective. And that is why you have the bias, that is why you have the resistance. It's a simple way of just explaining to people, this is what Ruga meant, this is what we have done, and that will solve many of the problems.
Yes.
But when you
it's obvious that this government has failed in its PR. It's a PR disaster, and it's obvious to anyone with a brain. It was actually a failure on their part to make sure they do the good PR. But it is also the responsibility of the other party at the other end to do their own research with an open mind, to look at things not from the grim perspective, to be willing to see things and measure them based on the merit that they may have, not from a prejudiced direction. So, as much as the government has failed to do a good PR, the other party, the other end, like people like you, for instance, now I'm forced to use you as an example, has also failed to look at this thing with an open mind. Mr. Isimeme right now just gave you the very many abundant benefits that will come from this program, but you, from the one, will not give it a chance. So
how do you know that me from day one will not give you a chance? How do you know that? You cannot
Okay, I did. These benefits
have you heard me talk about Ruga before to conclude
this instance, these examples that Mr. Isimeme just gave us now, have you ever given that a thought? If you have, why did you ask that question?
Because, you see, if you believe in the Ruga, you understand it, and the government has failed, in doing a good PR, it is also your job to educate people. So when people ask questions, it is not ideal for you to attack them. It is for you to
I
educate.
did not attack you. I told you that there's
listen,
failure on
wait.
both ends. I'm telling you there's failure on both ends.
Business, listen, the way the government has been going, the word coming out of government official about, give them land or you die, is not a good PR.
When
So
did
if
the
a government
say
official,
give them land
like
or you die? When?
Penadditional did say, give them land or you die, if that is what people hear from people that are in government, what then do you want to tell them that, that is not right? So you cannot blame people. And then if the government, I'm also coming, you said Kano State has built one. That is fine. Then if any state wants, is it just the governor of that state or in conjunction with the people to say, okay, these are the benefits of this. So if government is failing in their PR, what then do you expect the citizen of this country in this current regime that in the morning you will hear something, at night it is different? How do you then expect them to trust them? It's just a valid question. It's not because I have an agenda or not. I'm not in the cow business. So personally, I'm not in the cow business. It's people that has interest in the cow business that will say, this is A, B, C, D. It's a simple question. You don't have to bring an agenda or a mindset to it.
This is not, I do not talk of any agenda. Maybe you're talking of Ahmed that said you're trying to push a narrative. But however, my point is, I have agreed that there's failure on part of the government. I'm not a fan of this government, and it's obvious, like I said, there's a failure on their part to do a good PR, and they failed to do that. But like I said, there's also failure on the part of the other end to look at things with an open mind. There's that failure. And I think you will have to accept that there's failure because there's so much paranoia around Ruga. And as Mr. Isime said, nobody's giving anybody land. Nobody's giving anybody land. If you had gone through the program as proposed by the federal government, you will know that nobody's giving anybody land. So I don't know where this idea came from, that the federal government wants to give Fulani land. No, it is false. It is a lie. It has never been proposed. The federal government has never said it's going to take land and give to Fulani. No, I think it will do us a lot of good to study up or read up on some of these things that we feel very strongly about before we continue having a strong opinion on them. I yield. If you have any other questions that I can ask, I'm more than happy to go. Thank you.
Mr. Same, I would disagree with you because they are what are they called? National Assembly bills that support the claim that the government wants to give the Fulani land. If you go through the water resource bill, if you read it through and through, it points to that fact. The cattle, is it cattle settlements or whatever? What have you? It points to that fact that they want to give the Fulani land. So
if you can please share it with us. No, Emmanuel, I will not agree if you can
let me finish. Let me finish. Because you cannot put the onus on the people. The onus is always on the government.
No, but you just made a claim.
And the people are not the aggressors. You cannot expect land from people. You carry AK-47 and shoot them to smithereens. It doesn't work. It's not a claim.
Okay, fine. Share it with us. Please.
It's online. Just
educate us.
Water resource bill and read up on it.
No. So until
I will show you the link. No problem. I can back channel it to you. There's no problem about that.
Good. Back channel.
There's no problem about that. So the aggressors, you don't blame the victims, please. The people are not the aggressors. When you want something, you don't come in shooting people down to smithereens and say, give us land. And you have Miyetti Allah, the Cattle Breeders Association, making preposterous statements and saying things like, if you don't give us land, you die. Even Bala Mohammed, a sitting governor, will come out and say such rubbish. It's aggravating. It's annoying. Please, that is unacceptable. You can't just come here and try to push such narrative, please.
No,
because you people are the ones accusing people of narratives, and you come here and say things like that. It's unacceptable.
You are the one pushing a narrative.
You are the one pushing a narrative.
It is a lie. It is a
Don't come here and lie. We all know what.
No. You are a liar. You are a liar. What you're saying is a lie.
You come here and say
check
they
a bag
are not
link.
going to give the Fulani land. They are
No,
giving
no,
them
no.
land. They want to make it
Abeg.
official
It's a lie.
through
It's
the
a
National
lie.
Assembly.
It's a lie. That's
Please.
a Biafra narrative. We will
I
not
beg
take
you,
it.
go
We will
sit
not
down.
take it.
Chineke
We're
na
not
Guna,
taking it.
what
That's a Biafra narrative. We will not have it here. We will not have it.
Now, that one concern you. Anything you call them, it is what it is.
We will not
Find a place and see.
Emmanuel,
Emmanuel.
if you say they are one of you, could you please send me the link for Emmanuel? Could you please send me the link of this of the National Assembly bill?
I will back channel it to you. In fact,
Please do. No, please. I take you up on your. I take you up on your offer. Please do. Please do.
I will send it to you right away. It's just that the channel the page on Business Day is a paid site, so if you don't pay, you might not be able to read it. That's just the only.
Come and say you can now analyze it for us now. Shebi, now you get.
I will do that. So don't come here and tell us that there's no.
Go and take the screenshot and come.
Baba,
Stop
go
running
sit down.
away.
Go sit down. You cannot intimidate me.
Yes, make
Nobody
it
is trying to
talk.
intimidate you.
Yes.
Stop
cannot
flexing
intimidate
that you don't have a beg.
We
Come
don't
just
let
make
you
yourself.
don't say. So all this rubbish they talk no go fly.
Terrorist sympathizers come here to tell us nonsense.
Since you are a Biafra sympathizer, you are already.
Baba, go sit down. That will not fly. Any small thing sympathizer.
Oga, go
Is that
and
the
bring
issue?
the
Is that
what do
the
you call it
issue?
and come and analyze it
You are
for us
already
and stop being a cow. Be a man, bring it and analyze it.
People that have the
Since
narrative,
you are a
people
Biafra
having the narrative.
You
You think we are all gullible people? You think you can play us against each other? We know
Oga, you are the gullible one here. They've asked you to go and bring something. You're here making noise.
Who are you to
Can
tell me to go and bring something?
Go
If you
and
need
bring
it,
it
then
and
go and
true,
find
but
it.
you're the one that said you're going
I'm
to
not
bring
sending
it.
it to you. You can
Don't
go and
send
hang
it.
yourself.
Don't send it. You go and
What rubbish? What do you mean?
hook
You
and
ask me
hammer.
to go and bring something. Who are you to tell me what to bring?
Go and swallow cyanide. Go and swallow cyanide.
I back
Go
channeling
and
it to
respect
you.
yourself.
I'm doing you a favor.
Old man like you, you're here fighting against Nigerians.
With all this back and forth,
Can you imagine the sort of people we're sharing the country with? I beg, may we divide, go and separate.
Beg we divide, I beg. Who they beg una for unity
The
before?
difference is that your ignorance, right? I don't even know how to start.
Now you know who ignorant. You are the one to say
You're
somebody is
so
pushing the narrative.
ignorant. You're
You are the
some
one
of
to
you
come
to
and say
humble
who is
yourself,
ignorant.
forgetting
Why
that
don't you
my
make your
own
case?
people have gone to go and
Just
sue
be throwing
National
words up and
Assembly
down.
to ensure that there's a steadfast process for you to
Blah,
get your own
blah,
country.
blah, blah, blah,
With
blah,
all
blah.
the knowledge you're talking about, you cannot even go and sue National Assembly to ensure they give you a Biafra.
Blah, blah,
These
blah,
Hausa
blah,
people
blah,
are Fulani
blah,
people that are
blah.
doing your job for you. You can't even articulate yourself, behaving like a grown-ass child. Shame on you.
Before you make too much mouth. Salsa is not going with you before you make too much mouth. So just know that.
Your divide and rule strategy has failed, Baba.
Oga,
No.
go and host your flag.
He dey pay you. He go pay you well. Welcome to
The one way they pay you be say, but I no go
Welcome
leave
to the
until
new
they complete that
dispensation, by
influence.
the way.
Then you go choke.
You see, it is funny when ordinary citizen cannot dialogue in a civil manner. It is very funny and disheartening. And they will complain about politicians. I don't have to agree with what your opinions are. You don't have to agree with mine, but we don't have to fight about it. That is beauty of life. And you don't have to prejudge people or have a biased mind that, it's Biafra, it's so to do it. I have the right to belong to any group and association in Nigeria. And that should not make me a terrorist or enemy of the state.
Exactly. Thank you very much.
IPOB is a proscribed organization. IPOB is a terrorist organization.
Or calling each other name. So when you come here and we start calling each other name, abusing each other,
Emmanuel should learn how to be civil. We should be civil.
Ahmed,
I know it is hard for you.
Yala Cattle Breeders Association is the fourth deadliest terrorist group in the
Oga,
world.
your
Sanctioned by the United States itself. So this IPOB
is a
narrative
terrorist
will not fly.
organization. It has been compared
It is the
to
fourth
Tamil
deadliest
Tigers.
terrorist
Not
group in
only
the world.
has it been compared to
Fulani
Tamil
Magban,
Tigers, your
Miyetti
logo has
Allah.
been compared to that of a swastika.
IPOB is only
So
prescribed in
go-
Nigeria, and Nigeria is a
IPOB is a terrorist
recognizes that.
organization. You are a terrorist sympathizer. That's
your cup of tea be that. Welcome
that
to
one
the
now you
dispensation.
concern. Not be my religion. Help up the destroy. Nobody don't tell me say me I
Your
no go work.
dispensation. Now
Nobody
welcome to
don't tell me say me
dispensation,
I no
Baba.
go do
It dey
business.
pain you now. Why
You
you dey
In this forum, and you just came in here and just brought.
No.
He's a terrorist. That's what he does.
This person is always
He saw Nigerians from all over the country having a civil conversation, and he brought his tyrannical and terrorist ways and tried to now disrupt. But God
very
passed
funny.
you. God passed you.
Very funny. When the aggressors are making claims.
Continue. The one way go pay you, be say you go die, you no go see that Biafra.
Let me worry about that, okay?
So after all said and done, we are still all Nigerians, and we are going to remain Nigerians. Some people may not like it, but we are still all Nigerians. If we want to be realistic, the dream for the balkanization of Nigeria, it's not realistic. It's not going to happen in another 200 years. We all need to face that reality. Thank you.
Even if you want to balkanize a country, you will still have to do what certain people lack the capacity to do, which is sit at a table and start doing the hard work. And I'm sure they lack the intellectual capacity or the vision to be able to do that. They don't have it in them to do that. That's why they resort to insults. They resort to bigotry. South Sudan did not separate with the Gonzo. At the end of the day, they still had to go through a political process. They had to go through a political process. Is it these riffraffs that cannot even articulate themselves or communicate with anybody that does not see, they don't see? I don't even know, man. I don't know. You cannot elect people that can fight for you. I don't know how you want to realize this country of yours. I don't know. I don't know how you even if you get it, I don't know how you'll be integrated into the community of nations with this sort of mentality and attitude. Nobody wants to sit on the table with you. Continue conducting yourselves like riffraffs and uncivilized humans and see where to get you. As it stands, you've already been sidelined politically because of this mentality. You think you're doing us. You're doing yourself.
Excuse you, Mr. Ahmad, but if you look at the South Sudanese situation, the Arab Sudanese people were killing the South Sudanese. So when you come out and say things like they didn't fight, they fought to an extent because they were being killed. They were being ethnically cleansed, and that is why they had to secede. So when you want to come here, we are not seen. Let me tell you something. I made a first class in international relations. So I have this fact.
Okay, and I'm a financial economist. Not like I studied in Nigeria and I got a degree in business management. What next? No. What next?
Let me tell you something.
Let's talk about
everybody has freedom of speech.
I didn't go to school in Nigeria for you to come and be telling me, for you to even question my life.
Let me remind you, when the whole issue for independence was being clamored for in Nigeria, Nnamdi Azikiwe himself was labeled a terrorist by the colonialists. So the whole tag of terrorism is not new. So I won't worry myself about that. The ANC in South Africa, Nelson Mandela, was labeled a terrorist. So all this talk about terrorists, this, blah, 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 as long as the world, you can't convince the world that IPOB is a terrorist organization, you have yourself to blame. So that's your cup of tea. I don't have to keep talking about.
Hi everyone. I just realized that I've talked a lot, but I did not speak to the topic. So, strictly, right, speaking to the topic, me, I don't believe that anybody's parents should be held accountable for their actions because as long as you're over the age of 18, you're responsible for yourself. Your parents can only advise, or our parents can only advise or try to direct, but they can't make anybody do anything. So, unless any of the parents are caught supporting them or supporting a crime or being part of a crime, I don't believe parents should be troubled at all, at all. Doesn't matter that their children might be doing things they may not agree with. At the end of the day, it's their decisions to make and not those of their parents. So I just wish their parents would be kept out of it as much as possible. AIG, are you here? Sadiq Olusheye Kadi. I'm asking because I think I'm going to end the room soon. It appears engagement has ended. It's been so much fun. I had fun. So thank you guys for joining us. This is Matters Arising. We might have another room today. I don't know. Okay, fine. We'll have another room, but I'm saying 4:30.